Welcome. My name is Maureen Christensen, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters, Oakland area. Before we begin our forum, I would like to share some ground rules we will follow this evening. Please silence all cell phones and pagers, and please put them away. They are not to be out during the forum. They're not to be used at all. Campaign literature may only be distributed outside the room, which you may have seen, nothing inside the room. Please do not voice any reaction for or against any candidate statements made by the candidates. We encourage all of you to submit questions for the candidates on the index cards and pencils, which will be supplied. The questions will be screened for relevancy and duplication. Please hold your applause until the end of the forum. We also would like you to know that this forum is being recorded. It is copyrighted by the League of Women Voters 2024 and must be used in its entirety. Any questions? Okay, Ms. Benjamin?
Welcome to the League of Women Voters Forum for Oakland County Executive and County Clerk. Today is September 25, 2024. The first part of this forum features the candidates for Oakland County Executive. We will then take a short 5-minute break and resume with candidates for the Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds. The sponsor of this forum is the League of Women Voters, Oakland area. My name is Terrye Benjamin, and I am a member of the League of Women Voters. I am not a resident of this district. Candidates for County Executive are Democrat Dave Coulter and Republican Nik Gjonaj. Candidates for Candidates for County Clerk are Lisa Brown and Barb Palata. The League of Women Voters is a trusted national nonpartisan political organization. Our members do the hands-on work to safeguard democracy. While we never endorse a candidate, we are directly involved in shaping the important issues that keep our community strong. As a member of the League of Women Voters, I have the opportunity to contribute in a leadership role such as this that has great impact on local, state, and even national issues. If you are interested in learning more about the League of Women Voters and how you can make a similar impact, I encourage you to pick up some of our League information here available today. Or you can visit our website at lwvoa.org. The League of Women Voters does not endorse any candidate or political party. Views expressed in this forum are those of the candidates only, and we, the sponsors, take no responsibility. Candidates must answer questions with their views only and not interrupt the other candidate. Also, candidates must not disparage other candidates, whether the candidates are present or absent. Questions are asked of all candidates and do not single out any one candidate. All questions are submitted by the audience and screened for duplication, redundancy, and appropriateness. Our question screeners tonight are Jerry Rentschler and Maxine Monshine. Our question gatherers or pages are circulating in the audience with paper and pencils for you to write down your questions. Our question gatherers are Jenny Abbott and Maureen Christensen. Our timekeeper is Linda Roney. The format of our forum is as follows. Candidates are given 1 minute for opening statements in alphabetical order. During the question and answer segment of our forum, candidates again have 1 minute to answer each question unless time is extended by the moderator. All candidates are allowed equal time to answer questions. Closing statements will be 1 minute in reverse order. Again, the first part of this forum presents the candidate for county executive. Next, we take a 5-minute break and resume with candidates for county clerk and register of deeds. Again, I'll repeat the rules. Please turn off your cell phones, put them away, There is no picture taking or any of that sort to be done here this evening. Please remain silent and hold your applause until the end of the forum. And now, we begin with opening statements from our county executive candidates. You have 1 minute, Mr. Coulter. You begin.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for the League of Women Voters for all the great work that you do to help promote democracy. I am Dave Coulter. I've had the privilege of being the Oakland County Executive for the last 5 years, and it's been an amazing experience. And one of the things, we're going to talk, I get 1 minute, so I can't, in 1 minute, I want to just say, I'm proud of the way that we brought people together to get things done for the residents of Oakland County. I have a collaborative style. I like to work with people. I work across the aisle. Maybe the biggest demonstration of that has been the budget, which is the biggest thing that we do every year. And I've now presented 5 budgets to the county commission that were balanced for 3 years and have earned Oakland County a AAA bond rating. It's an awesome budget, and it's been passed every year, either unanimously with all Republicans or maybe without 1 or 2. Bipartisan. That's how we work in Oakland County on behalf of our residents.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj?
Well, thank you to the League of Women Voters. Appreciate being here tonight. My name is Nik Gjonaj. You've probably seen my last name. Hard to read, but easy to vote for. I'm a first-generation Albanian American. I've dabbled my whole life in different entrepreneurial realms, and I'm a dedicated community leader as well as a family man. I understand what it takes to build a better future, from launching cutting-edge businesses to supporting our vibrant community. I've always been focused on growth and opportunity as well as connectivity. I've already hit the ground running the last few months, meeting with local businesses, families, and community leaders. And I wanted to understand their heartfelt needs. And what they want is clear.
Oh.
Wrong paddle.
All right. So okay. All right.
You do get to finish your thought.
Yeah.
Lower taxes, safer communities, and a place where families can grow and thrive. I'm also a husband, father, and a community member. I've seen firsthand issues, what matter most. I'm running because I believe my combination of business acumen and life experience uniquely positions me to serve as a leader who listens, understands, and acts decisively. I'm ready to bring fresh perspectives and practical solutions to build a stronger and more prosperous future for all of us.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Yeah.
First question.
All right.
How have you helped local businesses to grow and thrive in Oakland County?
When I became county executive 5 years ago, my focus was on small businesses. We have some great large companies here and they get a lot of attention and I love them all. But it's our small businesses that are important. 95% of businesses in Oakland County are small businesses. So we created an organization called Oakland Thrive. This group's full mission is to help support our small businesses and the resources that they need. We've hired business counselors through our American Rescue Plan dollars to work directly with these companies to help them give them marketing support, access to capital, or social media presence, all of the things that a small business might need. I know that it's our small businesses that are the core of our communities, and that's what we have been laser focused on. And in particular, our women-owned businesses, our minority-owned businesses, and veteran-owned businesses, which have unique problems of their own. And in the last 2 years, we've assisted almost 8,000 small businesses with these services, and we're going to do more.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj? Same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
If you don't mind.
How do you plan? I think I've lost the question. How have you helped local businesses to grow and thrive in Oakland County?
Well, I've opened and run several businesses, small, mid-sized, through different sectors. And I can tell you the key ingredient for success are the people. And the people are the driving force behind success. And hearing them out, including them in decision-making from all facets of the business. And basically that creates its own inertia that really spreads throughout the organization. and you can achieve great things with great people. And those are the basic elements that I always start any project with.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter, do you have any
Are we
plan-
going to alternate questions back and forth, or am I always going to go first? I'm just asking.
Mr. Gjonaj actually is,
No, I've gone
Dave,
first
you
for
went
both of the
first,
first
and
two,
Mr.
so I'm
Gjonaj-
just curious. I'm not
you're right.
trying to
Mr.
tell you.
Gjonaj should be
Okay.
first on this question.
all right.
We need all the help.
We're all friends.
How do you plan to bring new jobs, young people, and affordable housing to Oakland County? What are your plans? What are your ideas?
Well, first, everything starts with safety. We've seen a 25% increase in violent crimes in Oakland County. So we have to address that. Well, we have to address that because safety undergirds successful society. So it'll be a multi-pronged approach where we'll be reaching out to regional businesses, national businesses, and having a team of experts in those respective industries to come and create a consortium to drive Oakland County forward in those sectors. We want to bring medical Main Street back. We want to focus on the emerging tech sectors and also home building. We want to make sure homes are affordable for middle-class families. We talk about low-income housing. Well, there's so many, including a lot of the Oakland County workers. They've told me several times, housing is out of reach. So we want to start a construction boom. We have a plan for that, and that'll definitely help to get the ball rolling.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter.
Yeah, so I've talked to young people. I used to be the mayor of Ferndale, full of a lot of young people, and we listened. The reason we were successful in Ferndale is because we listened to what young families want in a community. You know what they want? An affordable house, maybe some transportation. They don't all want cars anymore like we used to. They want a decent paying job, maybe access to education. We have leaned in on all of those areas. Just today, I announced our first housing project in Rochester Hills out of our housing trust fund, which we created to make housing more affordable across the county. I don't have to tell you about transit. I'm a big transit advocate, and I think we need to do more to support transit across the county. Education, we're giving our kids and our young people better opportunities at education and the training, because we know that a high school diploma just doesn't cut it anymore. You have to have something after high school, and we're providing that. And by the way, we're also providing really safe neighborhoods. Crime is not up in Oakland County. Crime is going down in Oakland County. That's a misnomer. This is a safe county, one of the safest counties for a county of our size in the country, and I'm proud of that, of the safety of our communities.
If I may respond to that?
No, I'm sorry.
No?
You get
Okay.
to answer the question,
Okay.
and then we move on. It's not a debate. Mr. Coulter,
Yes.
where do you stand on a rainy day fund for the county? Are we in need of federal funds to operate our county?
Oh, great question. So we are blessed with a wonderful rainy day fund. So we have the money we need to persevere a downturn or a recession that may come. It's an emergency fund. But no, we don't use it for normal operations. We don't use it for salaries or facilities or those sort of things. We have that money in the bank, and we have the highest rainy day fund balance of any county in Michigan. So let me be clear. Our budget is balanced for the next 3 years with a huge fund balance. But the money that we got from ARPA, from the federal government, one-time expenses. We don't use that because it's gone. It was for 3 years. We got it to use it for 3 years. And I said, we're not going to create programs that we can't sustain and make the taxpayers pay for after 3 years. So we've allocated our ARP dollars. We spent it on mental health and housing and a lot of great things. But once that money's gone, we're back to our regular tight budgets as always.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj, where do you stand on a rainy day fund for the county? And do you think we are in need of federal funds to operate our county?
Well, the rainy day fund is good to have, but we have to be real. Numbers are numbers. The math doesn't lie, no matter, who's
It's true.
explaining these things. You spoke about the budget. It's bulging. We went from a $760 million budget to over $1 billion budget. We have to understand that we can always have rainy day funds and all kinds of funds and great programs as long as the taxpayer is underwriting. But the burden that we've placed on taxpayers is unacceptable. Rainy day fund or not, we have to get down to brass tacks and hit these numbers hard because the math doesn't lie. And unfortunately, right now, we are dealing with a bulging budget, and I'm afraid to think how this is going to go up in the next 4 years. It's a disaster, frankly, and I'm here to fix it. And as a matter of fact, we will be launching a forensic audit team once we get into office to see where the waste is and, dare I say, fraud and abuse.
How dare you?
Thank you.
How dare you accuse me of being
Excuse
fraudulent?
me, Mr. Coulter.
If that's not an attack, I don't know what is.
Excuse me.
Fraud and
Next
abuse,
question.
sir? Give me a break.
Well, we'll let the
The
auditors
next
find out.
question, please, gentlemen. The next question is for Mr. Gjonaj. What is more important, the success of Oakland County or the success of the Tri-County region?
Well, I would say the success of Oakland County. It anchors the Tri-County region. It's important. We share some commonalities. We all work, live, and play in the Tri-County. But as an Oakland County resident, obviously our loyalty is here to Oakland County. And we should work with Macomb County and we should work with Wayne County because we can all help each other rise and achieve our goals collectively.
Mr. Coulter?
Yeah. So my title is Oakland County Executive, and my responsibility and duty is to the Oakland County taxpayers and voters, number one. But when I took over from Brooks Patterson in 2019, the history had been Oakland County didn't work very well in the region. They didn't need Detroit. They didn't need Wayne County. They didn't need Macomb County. If we could just build a wall and everybody would do things the way we did them, everything would be fine. It was unrealistic. It was unfair to those counties and frankly to Oakland County residents. We are in this together. We are the Metro Detroit region, and we are in competition with other regions in the country and around the world. And we need to get our act together in Southeast Michigan and work together in a way that Brooks Patterson never did and never would. And you'll never hear me say those sort of disparaging things. I've built relationships with the mayor of Detroit and the county executives in Oakland, in Wayne and Macomb, because we need each other. And by the way, our bond rating is rated on the regional economy as well as our own county economy. So our financial interests are in working together.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter, please discuss your views on Oakland County's mass transit system, SMART.
I have been a mass transit proponent since I first ran for office in 2002, and I won't apologize for that. Detroit, Metro Detroit, is the only major metropolitan region in this country without a mass transit system. And it's one of the reasons young people don't want to stay here, because they don't want a car. They want to take a train or a bus to work. We are falling behind. When we did the Amazon study and we discovered why Detroit wasn't higher scored in that, transit was a huge reason. Workers want transit, and not just workers. Our employers want transit. When we did the transit millage 2 years ago, which I championed, and almost 60% of the voters in Oakland County approved, it was our employers who were rooting for that, because Beaumont or Corwell knows that they need transportation to get their employees to work. General Motors knows the same thing. This misnomer that auto companies don't want transit is not true. General Motors was in favor of that campaign because they want to get workers to the factories. Transit is the future, and we need to catch up.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj,
Well,
you want to?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Well, I disagree wholeheartedly. I think mass transit is a thing of the past. My opponent supports it. It's great. But again, let's get to the numbers. The average household pays more than $300 in taxes for each bus that carries an average of one customer every 3 hours. Rider surveys show that each bus in the system has a third of a rider every hour.
Yeah.
So what is the cost for that one person to go from point A to point B? It breaks down to $850 a ride. In the next 3 years, we can expect an increase of more than 10% in the budget, and we can expect an increase of $12 million in the transit tax. So not only we've had taxing and spending increasing the county budget from $770 million to over $1 billion, and now it will grow to $1.1 billion a year. We really have to stop the massive spending. And this transit tax, our citizens are great-hearted people, and I think that they were misled because of a pet project that my opponent is obsessed with.
Again, referring to his
Mr.
opponent.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj.
I need an umbrella for these fake numbers falling from the ceiling too. Did you have one?
Mr. Gjonaj, you have the next question. What is your plan for continued investment in downtown Pontiac?
Well, it's certainly not going to be moving employees from the current seat of government and counting on them to go out to lunch and support businesses. That's not how you create a city. You know, we got to take a look at the United Wholesale Mortgage model. We go and make deals regionally, nationally, internationally to bring in corporations and companies that will lay the groundwork, and you set certain rules and regulations in place where they're forced to hire at least half of their workforce, half of them Pontiac residents. And there'll be a comprehensive study, and I'm working with quite a few companies as we speak that don't want to come to Oakland County because of what these guys have done. But Pontiac's problem is solved through business, not through government. And government surely isn't the answer, but again, my opponent thinks it is, and that won't solve Pontiac's problem. It's a joke.
Would you quit referring to your opponent? I thought that was the rule.
Excuse me, Mr. Coulter, I spoke with both of the candidates before this began and told them that this is not a debate, and we're not to crosstalk or attack each other. And it has been going on, and we're going to ask that it stop right now.
Sure.
Or the forum will be stopped.
That's fine with me. So let's talk about Pontiac. I'm really excited about what the county is doing as our commitment in our county seat. Pontiac is our county seat. And at one time, it was a thriving downtown with General Motors employees, county employees, and many other things. There's been a lot of disinvestment in our county seat over the years, but they are coming back. The revitalization there is real. And our plan is to take a vacant office building in downtown Pontiac, put 700 county employees in it. We have 5,000 employees, so we're not talking about deserting the campus. We're not talking about moving everybody, and we didn't put a dime in the budget to do this because we got the money from Lansing and the federal government and private developers. We're going to put 700 employees, including my office in downtown Pontiac, 700 employees that will shop in restaurants and stores, and more importantly, attract other developers, because I'm talking to developers every week who see what we're doing, and they are excited about investing in Pontiac. And by the way, we talk about young people and keeping them in the region. Right now, they're moving to Detroit and Midtown. I want them to move to Pontiac.
Thank you. What ideas do you have to continue to expand the business base in Oakland County?
Me? Oh, expand the business base. Look, it depends on what sector you're talking about. I mean, I will go anywhere and talk to any business leader who wants to open a business or expand a business in Oakland County. Last year, I went as far as Korea and Taiwan and Germany to talk to companies that were seriously interested in coming here. And we brought several of them back here. So we approach economic development from an international perspective. From a national perspective, I don't so much focus it on a regional. I'm not trying to pick off companies from Macomb County because I think that's a zero-sum game for our region. But primarily what I'm trying to do is grow the small businesses. It's a lot easier to take a business that you already have and grow it than to try to attract a new one to our county. And so what we're really focused on is helping our current small businesses grow into medium and large-sized businesses.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj.
Yes, again, a multi-pronged approach. I definitely would support the current business that we have. I would definitely focus on eliminating red tape and bureaucracy, streamlining the ease of doing business in the county where it's been a disaster there too. We are proposing and speaking to some major companies to develop a trade school hub in Oakland County that will fuel the next generation of trades, which will also help them open their businesses. We will work with developers, investors, and builders to also create a new housing boom for middle-class family entry homes. And also the emerging tech sector. And getting back to Medical Main Street, I don't know if everyone knows, but in the next 10 years, half of our population here will be over the age of 65. And with that, there's great opportunity as well. We don't have to lose people. We can bring them in from other regions and keep our treasure here.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter.
Oh, I already answered that one.
I know.
Oh, this is the next one. I'm sorry.
Do you plan on involving the residents in your decision-making process?
Oh my gosh. it's in my DNA to do that. When I was mayor of Ferndale, I'll start with there, we didn't do a project in the town that we didn't have community forums and advisory committees and the like. And so I took that model with me to Oakland County when I got here. I had a transition committee that helped me of business leaders, philanthropic leaders, nonprofit leaders, community leaders to help me get a sense. I went on a listening tour because I didn't want to pretend that I knew everything that Oakland County needed. And then through some of our biggest challenges, we have always created advisory groups. I like to say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I have a knack at identifying issues and setting goals. And then what I like to do is bring leaders and subject matter experts together around the table to say, how do we tackle this together? What can we do to make a real difference, putting partisanship aside, putting Republican and Democrat aside? And these have been bipartisan groups that I put together. And that's how I lead the county, frankly.
Mr. Gjonaj.
Yes, I also would include a approach of including the residents, including experts in their respective fields, open door policies, panels, advisory boards, consortiums, all of the above. We lose nothing by including the residents' voice. Everybody has an opinion. We want to hear those opinions, but again, we also want to hear from the experts. Whatever task is at hand, whatever proposal is at hand, we have to flush it out, not ram it down people's throats and say that we know better, because we don't.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj. Do you support the Oakland County Parks millage? Why and why not?
I do not, because this is another feel-good project that's going to be a boondoggle, just like this transportation thing that we're dealing with now that's breaking in all this money. I'm all for keeping the parks beautiful, taking care of them, making them a top priority, but we don't need it. There's plenty of money that we can carve out with this wasteful spending that exists now to take care of these parks and to make them the best that they can be. So I'm against that.
Mr. Coulter.
My political philosophy has been, you can't cut your way to prosperity. You can cut certain things, you can trim here and there, you can have efficiencies in government. But if you want good things, at some point you have to pay for them. When I was mayor, I had to go out to the people and say, our streets suck, and if you want them to be better, we need a millage. And I went out there and I made that case. It's the same here. If you want better transit, I didn't deceive anybody. We went out and said, this is what we could do with a transit millage. If you want better transit, this is what it costs. There's not a secret pot of money hiding somewhere that I can just grab. If you want to invest in it, you can invest in it. And it's up to the voters. They passed it almost 60%. So that I feel the same way about the parks. We have not made a significant investment in our parks for 30 years. And the Parks Board told me that the infrastructure is old, the buildings are decrepit, and we don't have the modern attractions that most parks have. So it's up to the residents this November. If you want to make an investment in our parks and recreation across Oakland County, that's up to you, and I think it's a smart investment.
Mr. Gjonaj. No, it's Mr. Coulter. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You have the next question.
Okay.
What are the priority issues facing our community, and how would you address them if elected? Re-elected.
Well, there's so many when you say priorities. When you're in this job, there's a lot of balls in the air. It's going to be affordable housing. It's going to be transit. It's going to be crime. It's going to be parks. It's going to be jobs. I mean, we've talked about these priorities in depth. But I think if there's an umbrella to all of it, it's that I come to work every day saying, what is going to make the quality of life better for the residents of Oakland County? Because, when I'm out there trying to sell businesses to Oakland County, I can't give tax breaks. Counties don't give tax breaks to businesses. So the only thing I can sell them on is the quality of life in this county and the workforce and the educated workforce that lives here. So those kinds of quality of life issues, making sure that every day we're doing everything we can to make sure that the 62 cities, villages, and townships in Oakland County are as prosperous and successful as they can be, I've had a good day if I can do that.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj, what are the priority issues facing our community, and how would you address them if elected?
Well, the main umbrella, I would say, is restoring Oakland County, business, jobs, out of control spending, but most importantly for me is crime. Again, it undergirds our society. 25% increase in violent crime. And that's a fact, and that's a statistic.
From who?
And I can tell you that I'll share a personal quick story. My 9-year-old daughter and my wife were shopping at Target on a Sunday afternoon, like many of you do. And my daughter was attacked by an illegal criminal alien, deported 7 times from El Salvador, exposed himself to my daughter and took her innocence. And when I start looking into these things and finding out that we have become an official sanctuary county, I am disgusted and I'm appalled, and I feel sorry for our county, because if it happened to me, it can happen to anybody in this room.
Mr. Gjonaj, you have the next question. Should the county continue its DEI initiatives?
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. It's a failed experiment. And frankly, as a minority myself, it's racist. And I will get rid of that day one, and I will replace it with MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence, that lift all people. Because it's not fair if my son or daughter check a box and somebody else's son or daughter who's more qualified gets that position. We have to be honest with ourselves. These DEI policies, I mean, Microsoft and Ford, they're all moving away from them. They're failed. They make us feel good, but they don't work. They are a disaster, and you see it more and more, they're going away.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter.
I think a lot of people really misunderstand what DEI is. It's not quotas. It's not we have to hire so many people. It's not feel good. It is simply this. We're going to treat everyone not only equally, but equitably. So let me tell you one way this is played out in Oakland County. Brooks Patterson used to have a theory that if you give every community in Oakland County the same, give them the same, then that's equal. That's fair. But every community in Oakland County is not the same. The needs in Holly are very different than the needs in Ferndale, that are different than the needs in Pontiac, that are different than the needs in South Lyon. And so what equity says is you meet communities where they're at, and you provide services in a way that they can have accessibility to. Transit can be an equity issue. If you can't get to the county campus, that's an equity issue. I'm 40 minutes away. I can't get there. That's an equity issue. It's not about quotas. It's about treating everyone where they're at and giving them the access to county services in the same way.
Thank you.
I guess I go first now, or next. But yeah.
What are your plans to help elders age in place?
Oh my gosh. I was stunned. I have to be honest with you, because Brooks Patterson did a lot of things right, but there was no senior services department in Oakland County government when I got here. There was nobody that was thinking about what do our seniors need. We had done a report. We called it the Silver Tsunami. We got a growing, aging population, and this is what their needs are going to be. But we had no plan for it. So I said, and I haven't created a lot of new jobs, and I've eliminated jobs to pay for them. But one of the jobs I created was the Officer of Adult Services. And his job is to go around to the community centers, to the local communities, to the senior groups, and say, how can we be supportive? Do you know about the services we already have? Because we have a lot. And what services can we offer, or how can we enhance the services or offer them more equitably so that it would support the seniors in your community? And Jim Ellison, who used to be the mayor of Royal Oak, is my older adult services officer, and he's hit the ground running, and I'm really proud of that department.
Thank you. Mr. Gjonaj.
Well, last time I checked, Brooks isn't around. But what I would do was bring in the private sector. We can talk reports, we can talk plans, but there's nothing there. Officer of Adult Services, I wonder how much he or she's getting paid. I wonder if it's comparable to the other deputy executives that are making $250,000. But we have to take a private sector approach.
Fake numbers. Fake numbers.
I guess you're not following the rules, Dave, but it's okay.
No, I'm taking your lead.
Gentlemen. Are you ready for your next question?
I am.
What are the environmental challenges in Oakland County, and how do you plan to make it more green?
Well, I will definitely defer to our experts in that area. And I'm not going to sacrifice quality of life to make things more green. We are going to follow the science where it leads us, but also we're going to make educated business decisions that make sense for all of our citizens.
Mr. Coulter.
If we don't figure out how to slow climate change, all the other issues that we're talking about today aren't going to matter. Our kids are going to inherit the planet that we leave them. And I think as the wealthiest county in Michigan, we have an obligation to do our fair share to contribute to reducing carbon emissions in the environment. We have a plan to eliminate carbon emissions in Oakland County by 2050. It may seem like a long way away, but it's not. And we don't have any more time than that. It's an ambitious plan. It's a realistic plan. And I don't think we owe our children anything less than figuring this out.
Mr. Gjonaj.
He answered that first.
What is the number one infrastructure issue in your opinion? Mr. Coulter.
All right, they're going to be tied for number one. I'm sorry. You can't talk infrastructure without talking roads. Roads are a mess. And even though only a few of them are actually county roads, a lot of them are your local roads or your state roads. Nobody cares. Nobody cares which it is. Just fix the damn roads, as the governor would say, and I agree with her. And we have a very good road commission that does a very good job at fixing the county roads. So let me talk about another area, which is water infrastructure. One of the things that we invested our American Resource Plan dollars on is replacing lead service lines and fixing water lines, because we believe, and the commission voted unanimously to support this, that every child especially and every adult in Oakland County deserves clean and safe drinking water. And so we gave grants to our local communities with those ARP dollars to make sure that they could get rid of the lead lines, get rid of the broken sewers, and get the lead out of the water in Oakland County.
Thank you.
Well, I agree with that. Definitely for infrastructure, all of the above. Whatever we can do to make our citizens' life easier and better and healthier, clean water and all of that. I think the two most important ones definitely are the roads and energy. And we have to explore energy solutions, energy in all facets. Our grid, I've been speaking to some companies in the region that have some mind-blowing potential that we can bring here to Oakland County to be an outside of the box solution for energy, for backup energy that we can build on a grid and also sell back to the energy companies. There's a whole host of things that we could do. The roads, I can tell you, I've spoken to the road commission. They are upset. There's games being played there. They don't have enough funding like they need. And I'll take care of that problem day one. I'll make sure they have everything they need because they are underfunded and they're low on the priority list.
Mr. Gjonaj, next question. Do you have plans to increase middle-class home availability, and what are they?
I do. And that's by building a construction commission of home builders, developers, investors, trades, and giving them a seat at the policy table and figuring out a way forward how we can deliver these starter homes for middle-class families and how we can make it more affordable. Because this is a solution that needs to be provided for from government and private sector. This is where there could be a beautiful private-public solution that could rival the likes of any around the country.
Mr. Coulter?
So we have more than a concept of a plan. We actually have a program called the Housing Trust Fund, and we put ARP dollars in it, and we put some county funds in. And what we do to provide more housing for folks and at a rate that they can afford is we're already working with those developers that he talked about. And when you want to make some of the units more affordable, the developers say, well, then my profit goes and I can't make enough money. So we provide the gap financing. We say, how much would it cost to lower the rents in some of lower the rates of some of those units so that we can make them affordable, and we will give you the gap financing. That essentially is what a housing trust fund does. We have a housing trust fund now. We've approved 6 projects all across the county, and there's a number of them in the pipeline, and I'm really proud of our concrete plan to do that.
What actions have you taken to improve or expand the quality of affordable health care, physical and mental?
Yeah. So one of the first things I did when I became county executive is I said, look, we have 2 health clinics where a lot of people, thousands of people come to, but people were coming there for vaccinations and pretty standard basic public health stuff. I said, they're coming there anyway. Why don't we offer more services in there? So we partnered with our nonprofit organizations in Oakland County. And now you can get mental health referrals or service there. Children are going to be able to do dental care there. You can get women can get women's health care there, which has never been available before. We call it Oakland 360, Health 360. In other words, whatever your health need may be, we want you to have a one-stop shop in our health clinics. I think it's important, especially the mental health. We need to treat mental health in this country the same as we do physical health. We don't turn people away if they have a broken arm and tell them to come back in 2 weeks. We shouldn't do that to people who are having a mental health crisis.
Thank you, Mr. Gjonaj.
I agree with that. Mental health is a real issue that we have to take head on and provide every form of help that we can to those individuals and families, along with physical health. The system is broken. To what our position can lend, we'll do our best. Instead of giving them clever names, we'll figure out some private solutions along with some public solutions and move forward from there with things that make sense.
Thank you. This is the last question. Where do you stand on women's reproductive health care, including abortion, IVF, and contraception?
For me,
Yes.
as a Catholic, I am pro-life. I can tell you that. And I don't believe that this position, this matter has been settled at the state level. But personally, if you're asking me, I am pro-life as a Catholic.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
I believe a woman's health decisions are hers and hers alone, and the government shouldn't be involved in it, and the politicians shouldn't be involved in it, and the churches shouldn't be involved in it, except to the extent their own members. And I think this is a right. I couldn't be more strongly pro-choice because I believe that the women of, if men got pregnant, this wouldn't be an issue. But the women of this county and of this country, I think, deserve nothing less than full bodily autonomy of what to do with their own lives and their own healthcare decisions. And it should only be in the hands of the woman and her doctor and her family.
Our time for questions is over. You have 1 minute for your closing statements. Mr. Gjonaj.
Yes. Well, thank you all again. Appreciate the opportunity to share my vision for this county. Again, I know what it's like to own and run a business. I've faced the challenges that come with making tough decisions. I understand what it takes to foster a strong local economy because I've lived it. Government isn't the answer. It's got a role to play, but you just don't throw money at things and expect things to work, with fancy ideas. But beyond my professional experience, I can tell you, I've experienced the day-to-day realities that our families face, and I'm committed to making this county safer and a better place for all of us. I believe I'm the best candidate for county executive because I bring a unique combination of business acumen, real-world experience, and a genuine passion for the community. I'm not a career politician. I'm someone who understands what it means to work hard, make sacrifices, and put it on the line. I'm ready to bring fresh, results-driven leadership that prioritizes transparency, innovation, and collaboration. Together, we can create a future where Oakland County actually thrives and people want to stay and grow. I humbly ask for your support this November. Vote for Nik Gjonaj.
Mr. Coulter.
Yeah. Again, thank you again for moderating this. Apologize if I went over any lines. It's been really the privilege of my life to be the Oakland County Executive. It's a huge responsibility and privilege. And experience matters. Experience matters. I was an Oakland County Commissioner for 8 years. I was the mayor of Ferndale for 9 years, and now I've been the Oakland County Executive for 5 years. I don't just have ideas and concepts. We have programs and experience and things you can point at that we've actually done that are getting results, because we now measure everything we did. So you can see the results of the programs we do. In my opinion, this is not the kind of job that is your first elected office. It is a huge county. It's bigger than 9 states. With a GDP bigger than 13 states. It's a huge responsibility, and I'm not saying I'm the only person that can do it, but I think I've done it pretty well for 5 years, and if you agree with me, I hope you vote for me again on November 5th.
Thank you, gentlemen.